But first, DJ Electrify.
Tom Brady
God damn it.
got roasted. The white man Super Bowl. Robert Kraft was wasted. And Ben Affleck was insufferable.
I would much rather listen to Nikki Glaser.
Tom Brady got roasted and Giselle took a stray. Not from the roast, but from her coach of MMA. Hey!
Hey-o!
All right. Thank you. That seems unnecessary.
That was pretty good. You gotta admit, she took a stray from the coach of MMA. Yeah, that's good writing, DJ Electrify. All right, this is the White Man Super Bowl. People, prepare yourself. This is gonna hurt your ears.
Thank you, Jeff, for turning this special night into one more opportunity to turn down. God, you are such a fucking whore.
Yeah, so this is, obviously, it's unlisted. We couldn't do this. There's no way.
Oh, I love it. I made it, so I love it.
It just doesn't make any sense to play it like that.
It's what you don't see, Mike, is and there's a giant break in the screen, and then there's a ring of fire and things moving. Because again, this algorithm, God, yes.
Yeah, so unfortunately we can't play it to break it down. Maybe we'll do it on Patreon or something if people give a shit about that at this point.
I think you should break the whole roast down, the entire roast.
Maybe. Yeah, well, the problem is they edited some good stuff out, I think. They trimmed it down from the live broadcast, and I believe, I haven't gone back to see if this is true or not, but I've heard that when Tom Brady got up and said to Jeff Ross, "Don't do that shit again," about the Robert Kraft joke, I've heard Netflix cut that out. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, what? I don't think so. They've been using it as a promotion.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's not true then. I heard a bunch of stuff got cut out, and I heard that was one of them. So hopefully I'm wrong.
I think my guess is that they cut some stuff out so that they can release an unedited version later. Because what is like, Netflix has nothing to lose by putting the N-words up, the F-word,
Sure.
I think they were testing the waters with some of those jokes. And if they go, then they can maybe open it up a little. And maybe comedy's coming back, maybe.
But yeah, I thought all the comics did a good job. Even Kevin Hart I thought was weird at times. I was like, is he nervous or fucked up or something? Because he was laughing at a lot of his own jokes and seemed like selling things too much. But overall, I thought he did well.
Cat Williams says he's an industry plant. Yeah, he's an industry plant, that one.
He certainly is. The one I thought stuck out like a sore thumb was Bert and Tom. I don't know why they presented together. And it seemed like they had nothing. It was prepared, obviously, because they had a visual element of it. But it seemed like they had never heard of Tom Brady or something. Like they did this weird thing where they compared him to like Hitler and Ted Bundy.
Serial killers. Yeah, it was the whole bit.
I didn't really understand. And Bert had this weird, like, I guess Bert was the straight man or the idiot. I don't know what character he was playing. But like Tom talked and Bert would go like, "Yes, you're correct." And there were weird moments where Bert had things like written down. He was reading, but all he said was like, "Yes, that's true." And it's like, you couldn't have just improv that? Why is that written verbatim on the teleprompter? What's happening here? So I thought that was the weird, and I like Bert and Tom. I know a lot of people that watch this don't. I think Tom's like a good stand-up, and I don't get the Bert hate really.
Yeah, Bert's terrible. Tom is amazing.
A lot of people hate Bert Kreischer. I don't really understand it. I think
he's too happy. It's comedy. You're too happy in comedy. Get out of here. We hate our lives. Get out of here.
I think he's a good podcast guest. I think his stand-up is fine. Like it's not my favorite, but I've never watched it and been like, oh God. There's nothing I thought about making fun of in his stand-up.
Oh, here's why you like Bert. You can't see. Every time he tells a joke with his shirt off, if you watch that for years of this guy's career, you'd have a different opinion of it. I mean, you think the demon's a gimmick. Oh my God. What?
There might be something to that where like there are people I probably find less douchey because I'm not watching the visual cues. Like in theory, you would think a guy that rips his shirt off I would hate, but I don't. You might be right. It could be that I can't see. That doesn't bother me as much.
Imagine if Craig, before his open mic sets, tore his shirt off and put a beer up there and he's like, how my ladies doing? How would you react to that? That's what's going on in front of 2 million people.
We lose viewers when Craig takes his hat off. Never mind his shirt.
Well,
people are disgusted by him.
Yeah, we love Craigers. Craigers, we love you wherever you are. We hope that someone is swiping right on you right now. Yes.
But yeah, I thought Bert and Tom they were very weird. We would go more in depth, but like you heard, it would be ridiculous to try and do that.
Yes, all my work. Let's just flush that. But we did have Andrew
the part I feel
Schultz.
bad for. After I spent tireless hours on that, and then the second I heard it, I was like, "Oh, absolutely not. We can't."
No,
There's no way
four
we can use
versions,
that.
3 got copyright, and that version was the one that finally got through. But whatever. You know, my time. What's time anyway in the grand scale of things?
It was a good effort. It was worth it.
And you gotta say they sucked, and they kind of did suck compared to everyone else, because I think what happened is they just mailed it in. They're like, hey, on the private plane to wherever this location was, they're like, all right, how about we do this together so we don't have to write individual. All right, high five.
There's some of that. And to Bert's credit, he was on Kimmel this week, and he said, like after they saw Nikki Glazer, that he leaned over to Tom and said, like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna bomb." So to his credit, now then he went on to say, like, "But we actually did really good. Thank God we followed Kim Kardashian." I actually thought Kim did better than them, which is not like necessarily a compliment to Kim. Obviously, her delivery's terrible. She's not a funny person. You know, she's just reading someone else's words. But like the content that she went out, like comparing Tom Brady to Caitlyn Jenner, is funnier and more relevant than just being like, he's a white guy, so he's a serial killer. I didn't understand their angle at all. You're right. It felt very lazy. They were just going there to promote Two Bears, the new vodka they have, and cash a check. Well, actually, I don't know if they got paid. It might have been just in promotion, but you could.
Yes, it's like Comedy Central's like, we'll send the plane out. You guys don't got to write anything. We got a room of writers for you. We're going to put you up on a screen. You're just going to read a teleprompter. Come on. Come to LA.
But they couldn't pick an angle because they kind of made fun of Netflix, like, oh, Netflix wishes you were a trans biracial swimmer or whatever the fuck. They do. But it's like, yeah, but Netflix is also doing this, and they have Chappelle on there, and both of you guys. So like, what lane are you taking? Like, I didn't really understand it at all.
It felt like Netflix legal department wrote that joke, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is as far as you can make fun of us, right here.
But at least they were there and got to enjoy the experience. That's what I'll say.
Yes, as was Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz was there. Oh yeah, let's hear it, because this is kind of where I got the they cut the roast the Craft thing out. But yeah, Schultz is talking about the reaction to the Brady Craft stuff.
Right. And Tom Brady is the former quarterback of the New England Patriots, and Robert Kraft is the owner of the. If any women are watching or have no idea what we're talking about, sometimes you got to set things up anyway.
Sure. Yes.
And they won 7 titles, and now they famously hate each other. It's amazing. Oh, we all love it.
Now, can we play this clip, or do I have to listen to Electra sing again?
That's when you get off.
Okay, good.
When Tom checked Ross,
Bro,
I think that was 100% real.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
100%.
Like, so Jeff,
I think it got cut from the broadcast.
I'll tell y'all something. Because the reason why I think it's real is because they told us no jokes about happy endings with Bob Kraft. Because I had a Bob Kraft tag.
Oh.
I had that joke about Randy Moss. I was like, Randy Moss, you made sure on Super Bowl Sunday is the only people celebrating a happy ending with a priest.
Oh yeah.
And then the tag was, and of course, Bob Kraft.
Yeah.
And they were like, Tom asked us not to do anything with the massage show. I was like, all right, cool. Like, the guy's coming here for this thing. Like, whatever. He's not getting roasted. He's sitting in the fucking stands. Like, all right. And then Jeff did it. And then Tom walks up and he goes, yo, cut that shit out. Or don't do that again.
Yeah. Don't say that shit again.
Yeah.
But think about it. Like, this is the first comic that goes on, a live roast, and it's your night.
Yeah.
He was ready to shut the whole thing down. That's an alpha ass move right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you imagine if Tom Brady was just like, all right, we're done. Sorry. Just leave.
It just
They would have done live on Netflix.
spikes the microphone and walks out with Gronk high-fiving. Oh my God, the pussy he would got that night.
That would have been wild, but it's weird to me. And I was trying to think, like, even though Tom Brady's a massive superstar, probably the biggest celebrity in football history. I mean, other than like OJ or something like that, but like massive celebrity, and has kind of gone out of, like, he's gone beyond a football player. He's a celebrity now. And so for him to, like, you can talk about his wife and his divorce and the guy on the team that was a murderer that killed himself. You can make jokes about all of that. But the one thing you can't make fun of is a guy who's here in the room getting jerked off at a massage parlor. Like, that's weird that was his one bugaboo.
Yes, because,
And jokes about his kids, I guess, were also off limits.
My guess there is, because I'm, an evil-minded demon, is that Tom Brady knows that Robert Kraft has some pictures of Tom Brady doing some fun stuff in the facility too, maybe,
That's possible, yeah, and my thing was maybe he feels some subservient role to Kraft, even though he's kind of transcended that. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Kraft is like, all right, motherfucker.
I think what we've seen is the first blackmail roast, where everyone has blackmail on everyone and they just roast the shit out of each other. But they know if they go too far, we're going to drop this nuclear bomb on everyone and we're just going to walk out of here. We're still all billionaires. Fuck you.
I definitely, other than the Trump roast, I can't think of a roast that billionaires were involved in. So you might be right. But
would you like to see Gronk's reaction to the roast 4 days later? Or hear it?
Sure,
would you like to hear?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Because it's always good to hear, the tight end's perspective of things that are going on the roast.
Okay, good.
It's like 4 days later, and I'm still laughing about the roast. One of the greatest nights ever.
Well, time to get over it, Gronk. Jesus.
He blinded a person. He spiked his shot glass and literally the glass blinded a person. They're going to host a show next to you, Blind Mike, and he's happy about it.
Well, it was a fun time.
I've been laughing literally for like 3 hours every day about it.
Can you imagine having enough money to where the lawsuit that you paid out for blinding someone 4 days later, you're still laughing?
I'm glad Gronk kept
Wow. Great times.
Oh no, we need to
It's not
monitor
there's
that
no point to
brain.
that. He's just like, hey guys, I'm still chuckling to myself.
Yes, he's like, the CTE has invaded another lobe.
But yeah, I thought it was a good event. I hope Netflix does more stuff like that. I kind of like the idea that the week of the Netflix is a Joke Festival, there's a lot of live programming. And I was saying, I thought Unfrosted was an abomination. I can't believe our friend Jerry Seinfeld concocted something like that. It was a terrible movie, but it would have been
you saw
fun.
it?
Like it was
Okay. No.
If Netflix did shit like a movie premiere, instead of dropping it at 3, if you premiered in that way on like a Friday night or something, you know what I mean? Like it would have been fun for everyone to live tweet a shitty movie like Unfrosted or a good movie, whatever, But like I like the idea of Netflix doing stuff like that because it makes things more of an event. We've lost that with streaming services and binging and everything. There's not a community of watching things anymore. So I hope Netflix starts doing more stuff like that because I thought it was a fun evening,
Was it better than B movie? That's the real question.
I never saw a B movie. But
what?
I think B movie was for kids, right?
No, well, yes, all animated movies are for kids, Mike, but it had a deep sort of socialistic communist view of the world. It's a very crazy movie.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you got to go back and watch B movie. It's because it's like, imagine throwing Jerry Seinfeld into China. That's that movie because he's like, why is everyone working together? I don't get it. It's very funny.
I don't think I would say like South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut is for kids.
No, yes, no. I guess that's right. But it is a musical. So it's kind of for housewives a little bit.
But yeah, that's the weird thing about Unfrosted is it was rated PG-13. So they're literally saying like, oh, this is too edgy for young children.
Yes, there's one too many cum on the top of a cupcake jokes, I think.
Oh my God, was it terrible? Where every joke is like, oh my God, we're in the 60s, but we know things that happen in the future. Can you believe that?
I think you got to break that one down on Patreon too. Your whole Patreon should just be breaking down terrible things.
On Netflix that we can't do on YouTube. I would have spent 2 hours just breaking down Unfrosted today, but we can't because of the...
No, you just put the music behind it like I did for that Brady thing for 2 hours.
Yeah,
you can watch that.
Give it the right context. Yeah.
Yes. All right, what do we got next, Blind Mike? Where are we going next?
Well, I meant to mention that at least, we made fun of Bert and Tom. At least they were at the roast. But there's a man who's very jealous he wasn't there for some reason, which is bizarre that he thought he would be. It's pretty crazy. So the Fighter and the Kid podcast the other day, Brendan Schaub is having a great time. He's talking about how fun the roast was. He's like, it was great to see my buddies Tony and Andrew Schultz kill. It was an awesome night. And Callan's being very weird about it and standoffish. And he's like, Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah. Oh, did Tony do good? Nice. Okay. He's very aloof, and Brendan, to his credit, he's not necessarily the most observant guy, but he picked.